Hey, what's going on? It's Joe Teel, and this is another 180 Creator interview. And like always, I got a great guest, Ronald Makaramba.
There you go.
Did I say it right?
Yeah, you did.
I know you say it for them. How?
Ronald Makaramba.
Yeah, that's what I said. Damn, that's awesome. All right, where are you from originally?
I'm originally from Dar es Salaam, Tanzania. You know, small little town, east from a country called Tanzania, East Africa. Right below Kenya and Uganda, you know, and so, you know, by the Indian Ocean.
So how did you end up in the United States?
Through a scholarship, man.
Cool.
So when I got done my middle school in Africa, Tanzania, I moved to England, and where I did my, you know, you'd call it like a high school diploma. Not really, you know, people here go to high school for like 4 years.
Right.
I did a program for 2 years and got my certificate, like just a diploma degree. And then when I was out there, I played for an agency, a soccer agency. And what you see, a lot of like international students you see out here, they come from agencies, you know, they've had the, you know, especially the athletes. So I played for a soccer agency in Manchester, and then got an opportunity to go to Susanville, California. So that's where my journey started, and moved from England to California. Played there for 2 years at a JUCO, and then transferred to A&M.
Here?
Yeah, A&M.
So how did Texarkana hit your radar?
You know, obviously, you know the huddle.
Okay, yeah.
So, you know, when I would play out there in Susanville, California, almost like every week I'd go like gather footage from huddle,
right,
and then create my own little highlights. And that's where kind of like the editing started for me.
Oh yeah, you was making like
exactly.
a mixtape.
I made a really good highlight of myself. Like I was pretty decent actually. So whenever I made my highlight, you know, you'd look at that as a coach. You're like, yeah, I want that guy. He's fast, strong, you know, good in the air. So I made my edit and then sent it out. I had a few schools pick me up, some in Atlanta, some in New York, but the one in Texarkana offered me more scholarship. So at the end of the day, I went where my school was mostly going to be paid for.
Yeah.
As an international, it gets expensive.
Yeah, so you go from Africa to England to California to Texarkana.
To here, yeah. Yeah, but that transition from England to California, when I was in England, I had been to other like competitions in Sweden, Denmark, because I wanted to go pro.
Yeah.
So whatever opportunity I got to go showcase, I would go. So I traveled a lot in Europe for soccer. You know, just I ended up getting a scholarship for school, which, you know, either way, it turned out pretty good.
Was it a culture shock? So you did middle school in Africa. Was it a culture shock to go from that to England?
Not really. I was pretty exposed to Western culture from a very young age.
Were you watching stuff online?
Yeah,
like
that, and then also my mom was a flight attendant. So she always traveled, you know, we went to Europe a lot. Yeah, went to Europe a lot. And like I said, two of my mom's sisters all live in England.
Okay.
So we would go back and forth there for like Christmas holidays and stuff. So, you know, I was pretty exposed to it, you know, to a certain extent. You know, I started traveling from a very young age, probably like 3 maybe.
Wow.
Yeah, and it was free, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Heck yeah. And so you end up in California. Was that a culture shock?
Man, I thought I was going to the beach, and I thought I was going to like San Francisco. I ended up at Susanville, California.
Yeah, I don't know where that is.
Up north, an hour away from Nevada.
Oh, okay.
So like it was just mountains, 6 inches of snow. You know, that kind of California country.
Oh, yeah, not the beach.
Yeah, no. But we were 7 hours away from LA. So it was a little bit of the food, man, was so hard for me. The food was hard. I said that's the one thing that would always make me miss home is the food and, you know, just the homey feel, you know.
Yeah, what type of town did you live in? Was it a big town? Like in Africa, was it a big town, a little town?
Yeah, it was a pretty big town. So Dar es Salaam, man, it's not the capital, but it's like the Miami for here.
Okay, and there's that many people?
Yeah, well, not that much, man.
You think?
I can't remember, man. But
like bigger than here,
yeah,
right?
bigger than here for sure. Like Probably Dallas.
Dallas. Okay, yeah, that's big.
Yeah, for sure. Even probably more than Dallas.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's pretty big. Dar es Salaam. It's known for the high life.
Yeah. So you go to California. It's not the beach.
No, it's not. Mountains, trails, and
Yeah.
and stuff.
So was it cold soccer?
It was cold. I hated it,
my
man.
least favorite soccer. I played a little soccer.
Okay, yeah.
Cold soccer hurts.
My feet would get like cold and my toes, I wouldn't feel it. So every time it got so cold, I never showed up to practice. I never showed up to practice. It got to a point where it started affecting my playing time. A lot of people were like, man, why's this guy not showing up? But really, I didn't want to be out there.
Yeah.
It was so hard.
You're not conditioned for that, though.
It was so
what's
hard.
the weather like where you're from?
It's tropical, man, but not this kind of heat.
Yeah, this heat.
This heat, yeah, it's
this heat's awful.
It's very disrespectful.
Yeah, you walk outside and you're like, well, yeah, I work outside. It's not.
Yeah. No, I mean,
for the week.
Yeah, it's crazy. Because, I mean, even I did a little bit of manual labor myself, and so I don't miss it.
Yeah,
because as a foreigner, that's all we could do, really. I couldn't work at Walmart, or stuff like that. So I understand what you're saying.
So how long did it take you to become I'm assuming you're a citizen now?
Yes. Well, I'd be known as a legal alien.
But okay.
That's how they.
legal.
Yeah. I'm not a citizen. I just own a green card. So permanent resident.
Okay.
If I'm a citizen, that means I would have to because my country does not allow dual citizenship.
Oh, you'd have to get rid of your old one.
And I didn't want to do that.
Right. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're over here, but it's all good. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm here legally. Yeah, legally.
But I was
employed.
you come to play college and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I just wanted the process on that.
We eventually, me with my girlfriend back then, my wife now, we got married. We have a 3-year-old baby boy. So within that process, kind of I had to acquire a green card, so. But, marriage was he had already even planned before our son was there. And so whenever our son got here, I was like, well, maybe we need to take this step. So
were you ever thinking about maybe moving back and living back over there?
It's a conversation every now and then. I kind of speak with my wife about it, kind of saying, hey, maybe when I'm ready for retirement age, kind of go back, or maybe not just go back or just make it a habit to where every summer we go. You know what I mean? Because, at the end of the day, it was my decision to move out here, you know what I mean? And you get homesick a little bit, but you overcome it, and, now I have a family here, my wife, my son, really it's kind of home.
Right. Yeah. But one day you'll probably want him to see.
Yeah, next summer we're going for sure.
Cool.
Yeah, next summer we're going to go for the first time. My dad's going to see my family for the first time, so I'm excited.
Oh, wow.
My mom's been here twice, but my dad, because of work and stuff, he's like, I just come over here.
No, that'll be cool, dude. That's cool. So soccer, then you end up at Texas A&M. How long did you play there?
I played there for 3 years. I played there for 3 years, transferred, and then I graduated there in 2021.
Did COVID affect any of the playing?
I had completed my last year of playing. So COVID hit when? Was it 2021 or 2020?
Well, 2020 is when it started, but the lockdowns hit about
May. January, February. Yeah.
So maybe just right after.
April, May. So 2020, I had just got back from my country. And then January, COVID hits.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I was already done playing.
Okay.
So during that COVID year, I finished off my school online. But the guys that still had eligibility because of COVID, they had to play 2 more years. And I was like, man, I wish COVID hit 2020.
Oh, yeah, they got an extra year.
Yeah.
So that was good. Okay.
Yeah, I really wish I had that one.
Yeah, that would have been cool. And so when in the process do you end up with Gameday? Was that the next step?
Man, again, another story. I have got full of stories, bro. So how I got with Gameday, my senior year of college, whenever I was in California, I learned how to detail cars. So detailing cars, when I finally moved out here, when I moved out here, my first year here in Texarkana, my second year, I would go every summer. I would go to California back to, because that's where kind of like my friends were. So I'd go back to California out there and work. And so I learned how to detail cars. When I came out here, I started detailing cars. And then one day, Morgan Smith pulls up in my driveway with that green Corvette he had. I lost my stuff because I was like, ain't no way this car is trusting me to come. Like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? So I pulled up to my driveway, realized that on the plate number it said Mr. Gameday. And I knew who he was. So he came, he wanted a ceramic coating. At that time, my stuff I got so popular because of ceramic coating. I was probably one of the few guys that were doing it at that time. And so did his service, polished his car, gave him ceramic coating. He enjoyed the service. When he picked up his car, I was like, hey man, are you on a game day? I love doing media. I love messing with like videos. Can I come intern? Because I was a senior in college. So I'm like, I'm trying to make a move for my next step.
Right.
And he's like, yeah, come over. Let's check what you got. And that was story. The rest is history.
Yeah. So you interned. How long were you interning there? Or was it intern?
When I got in, I interned, I think for like maybe 3 to 6 months. And then I transitioned to full time.
Yeah.
So I worked there. So when I graduated and I had a job.
Okay, cool.
And then I worked with them for maybe 3 years.
Yeah. So y'all were on the football field with cameras, the whole nine.
I was probably one of the main content creators then, because obviously he had Cam as the producer, and then he had Nick, he did commentary. And then I was more of like, cameras, and then started tapping into making hype videos and stuff and doing interviews. Did a lot of interviews, man. And then, he just kind of trained me and worked on my talent, really, that I never knew I had.
Who taught you how to edit? Because he was telling me that he don't even know how to.
So funny thing is, man, whenever I was at game day, I knew how to edit on my phone. Because when I detailed cars, I used apps on my phone to video and edit. So I knew I had the kind of like the vision.
Yeah.
So when I moved to game day, working with computers, high-end computers. And so the manager at that time, Cameron Sullivan.
Yeah, Cam. Shout out to Cam.
Shout out to Cam, man. Cam just kind of showed me like the intro to it. And I picked it up like that.
Yeah.
So he taught me like, this is how you cut a clip. This is how you import. This is how you export. So Cam really, I owe Cam a lot.
Yeah.
He taught me stuff. And then later on, I started doing stuff like he was like, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. So shout out to Cam, man. He really put me on.
Sometimes you just need somebody to get you started.
And YouTube.
Yeah, and YouTube. Yeah. I'm on YouTube a lot.
Extra stuff.
YouTube has taught me. I made a lot of money from stuff that I've watched off YouTube.
Yeah. Well. It's a free guide, man. Yeah, it's a free guide.
That and podcasts. I listen to a lot of podcasts and audiobooks.
Kind of like learning slow into the game.
Yeah. Like my whole first business I ran, like almost all the business, like the actual business side of the stuff I learned was from like this one podcast. It was called the 6 Figure Home Studio. And I had a home studio.
Wow.
And they just they just talked about like the business side. Like they talked about everything from like taxes to like how to treat the clients, how to make it the studio run smoother and all that stuff. I took it and basically had I really had like the most smoothest running studio.
Wow.
And it was just from reading and listening.
So what kind of got you into like wanting to do this? Like, cause man, you've been very consistent.
Yeah. Well, I tried this once 3 years ago. Then in 2022, I tried this and I think I did 6 interviews, but I got burnt out doing recording, like artists working with music. I ain't gonna lie, it kind of drove me crazy. Like
started burning out.
Yeah, it's hard to record people because there's a lot of things you don't think about, like being like an audio engineer. I'm sitting here like, especially the way especially rappers record now. They don't write anymore.
Right, yeah.
So they'll come in here and they'll just come up with a line. But see, like in between lines, I'm just sitting here hitting spacebar and I'm hearing the same loop over and over again. And I'm like,
I'm about to lose my head.
Yeah, it got harder to do that. And then it got to a point where I was dreading coming to work. And
you
I was
don't want
like,
that, man.
You know, you know, when it gets like that, then you know,
don't
like,
want that.
okay.
Yeah, you don't
So
want
I had, you know, it was real successful. Had people working with me, working for me. And I had saved a bunch of money up. And, you know, everything was cool. And, you know, I worked for myself. And I did that from 2018 to 2022. And at the end, it was just affecting me. Like, I just dreaded it. I didn't want to be there.
Yeah.
And so the guy working for me, he went to jail. And I was like, okay.
That's another sign.
Yeah, because I could have kept going, you know. And to this day, almost every day somebody messages me. Studio time, and it's like 3 or 4 people I'll still record.
Wow, you only like certain.
Yeah, because they're safe and they're nice. You know, that's like the 2 requirements for me these days. Because I dealt with a lot of like,
I'm sure
too much, and then when I had my kids too, I started looking at it differently. Like when I had my son, it was weird because I was like, I just wanted to turn up at that point because I was like, I just need to work harder. But then I saw my daughter. And I immediately knew, I've said this on the podcast 100 times, but I immediately knew that I was done recording like dangerous people and stuff. And you know, you get used to it. And I kind of had a little bit of a troubled childhood and stuff. So like, I was always cool under pressure and around like people, maybe possibly dangerous people. No, not possibly. They are dangerous.
Yeah, but
most people respected me and I treated everybody fairly. So I didn't really have any worries about like the beef being with me. But the issue is getting caught in like the crossfire of other people's stuff.
Exactly. Or being in their wrong spot.
Yeah, because these people have enemies and they're going live.
Yeah.
You're live. I'm live at the studio. I'm over at Joe's.
Yeah, where at?
Yeah, like the song.
I totally see what you're saying because I try to get in the music industry. And I think I only did it for like 2 months.
Yeah.
Like and I was like, nah, I got expensive equipment. Yeah. No.
It's
not worth it.
I have a lot, even to this day, like I never sold anything. You know, I still have 100%, like 40 grand worth of stuff.
It's not worth it, man. I mean, but for the people that are in the industry and they're successful, that's good for them. They're already up there, you know what I mean? But
I know what it takes. And I think if everything's ever got bad on my end and I 100% could fall back on.
You got something.
Yeah. And I could be charging, you know, $60, $70 an hour. And that's cool.
And you have that resume.
Yeah. Because because I'm really good at it. I really am. Like not you know, and that's one thing I'm really confident about. And it's crazy because I don't really do it anymore.
Wow.
But.
Would you ever see yourself go back into it?
I don't know. I think if my family needed me to, so if like something on the other end, you know, like if it meant my kids getting to eat, then yes, of course. But I think it would be that type of deal.
By any means necessary.
Yeah, I would go back. But so I interviewed some people, and this was around the time when I was like burning out.
Wow.
And so I had this really nice studio. It was when I moved to an actual storefront, and it was beautiful, and I spent a bunch of money on it. And but then I hated being so public, and because the people were just like, you know, I realized that I wasn't really bringing in new people. I was just bringing the same old people to a new cooler spot.
Yeah.
And so I think like the interviews, I realized like, dude, I'm good at this. I can interview people.
Yeah,
like,
you can make conversations and
but
it's different random
it was just
stuff.
It was the wrong time. And so then I completely quit the studio and I went and got back into my family business, which I'm doing now still, which I probably should have always been doing. But and then I just picked it up. I was talking to Nick, was playing flag football. We're in a flag football league together. And me and Nick Reed, shout out to Nick Reed, the Reed Talk Listen podcast.
RTL, baby.
And he was just telling me, he's like, man, like I'm at every Wednesday. He's like, every Wednesday, I don't miss, bro. Me and my brother, we don't miss. No,
they don't.
Wednesday.
They don't. If they do, it's probably like, I can't remember the last time they did.
Yeah, so I went and listened to it after, like, it was one of the games where he was telling me, he's like, man, you need to go check it out. So I went and checked it out, and I was like, dude, I could do this. I could do this too, you know? And I remembered, like, I already had kind of done that.
Yeah.
And I was like, well.
And you had the equipment.
yeah, I had a lot of the stuff already. I just needed that. So I went to Anthony Vaughn. Shout to Anthony Vaughn, Texarkana Podcast Studio.
Yes, sir.
We had a little agreement. We helped each other. Did some episodes over there. I did about 15 episodes over there. And I was like, I can do this.
Yeah.
And now I need my own stuff.
It's like, and that's the thing with podcasts is you just gotta. It's a lot of people, I guess, they struggle in like catching people's attention or seeing, it's not working or yada. You just gotta keep doing it. I think you have a pretty good product, and I think you should keep doing it. I think this time around, how you came back at it, I think kind of like all those before trials you did.
Yeah, they kind of got into
this. Where you have a good strategy now. Talking to different community members and stuff that own businesses and they're active in the community, and that creates good exposure, man. I mean, really, when you think about it, there isn't a show here in town that actually does that.
Right.
So,
and I'm just like, my mentality, I'm like on a race to 100 episodes. Like, I'm not going to slow down when I hit 100.
Right.
But like in my head, it's like, I need 100 interviews. Like, solidify myself. I'm the guy to go talk to.
Put yourself up in the Put yourself up there in the pedestal. Yeah, man.
And man, sometimes I hit people up. It's scary. I hit people up and they don't reply. Like, so I don't know if they didn't read it. Or maybe they read it. They're not interested. And
people just don't want to. It's weird. It's sorry to say this, but it's weird. But also, especially like folks around here.
Yeah,
they're because sometimes I go to events and I'm filming. I'm like, I try to get people in like. Say a little interview or something. They're like, no, I don't want it. But you own a business or you're very active. Put yourself out there, man.
Yeah, dude, a podcast right now like is almost the best way to promote what you've got going on. Like somebody's gonna interview you. Like, I don't never turn down interviews.
Yeah, no, I mean, man, when you messaged me, I was like, what an honor.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Whatever I could do to like, you never know. Because maybe some folks are going to see this and like, oh, we know that dude. Oh, man, we did not know he's from Tanzania.
Yeah.
You've created exposure.
Right. Yeah, I didn't know exactly. I knew you're not from here.
Right.
That's all I knew.
And that's what a lot of people, like I go to a lot of places. It's like, man, we keep seeing this dude everywhere. What's up with him? And so I'm sure, hey, Ronald Makaramba, numero uno, papi.
Yeah. You remember when we were running? Which one? It was Was it the marathon?
The marathon last year.
Yeah,
half marathon.
Yeah, we ran beside each other for probably 20 minutes.
Man, and then you just smoked and lived.
Man, I had to go, man. I had to get on down.
Yeah.
The marathon. I had a guy on here named Brad Taylor, and he does ultra running. I did not know this was a thing.
What's that?
He runs like 100 to like 200 miles.
See, I have a coworker. So funny thing is, that marathon, I did not train or practice for it, but I stay fit regularly.
Oh yeah, me too.
And then my coworker, Mr. Ray Howe, shout out to Ray Howe. He loves to run. I mean, for fun.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then he was like, hey, there's this marathon coming up, man. I think we should run. I was like, you know what? I'll do it. So went to Ragged and Jog, got some good hookers on sale. And then he pulled it. So the day before the half marathon, they do that little warm-up thingy. He pulled his hamstring on that warm-up. So I'm like, I gotta go now. I gotta go run for him.
Yourself,
yeah. So really, the time that we met, me and you, I was ready to be like, you know what, man? I'm at this.
Well, we were probably like 6 miles in, weren't we?
Like we were...
Yeah, because
we were close. We were coming close to the...
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
We already went through what Spring Lake Park. It was at the end of Spring Lake Park.
Yeah. We had just finished kind of like halfway through.
Yeah.
A little bit halfway through. And so I was like, yeah, but man, I think that's probably the most craziest stuff I've done. Even my wife said, you are crazy.
I'm training for a marathon, dude. I'm going to go run a marathon in Little Rock next year in March.
Mr. Ray Howell goes to a lot of them over there. Good luck, man. I mean, I don't.
Yeah, well, I've done 2 half marathons, so in my mind, I could do a marathon. But I didn't really train for those other 2 neither, and I ran under 2 hours.
I mean, and 2 hours is good because, man, when we were done, imagine there was other people still going to run for another hour.
Yeah. Yeah, there was people coming
2 hours.
Yeah, they came in at like 11 or 12, and the race started at like 8.
I'm like, man, y'all stop for a picnic too, or what?
Ain't a lot of that marathon though. I'm gonna try to. I've already started like easing into some, some marathon type training, and been working on my knees especially too. I'm that type of dude though. Like you're saying, like that hits home for me. Like I'm always ready. I'm always fit. I could go play a basketball tournament tomorrow.
Like boom, I'll hurt a little the next day.
Yeah, but I'm gonna be good.
Yeah.
Because I probably play basketball probably 3 times a week.
Wow.
Yeah, like 5-on-5.
Yeah.
Like full court.
And them, it's a lot of running.
Yeah.
I play soccer on Sundays. You know, we got a Mexican league, man.
You play at, is it at the...
It's at the Boys and Girls Club. Yeah. Over there, man. It gets lit over there, man.
I seen it. I pulled up to play basketball at the recreation center. They had some guy booked it for a Sunday, and we came in, and they were out there playing soccer, and it looked wild.
Yeah, we played.
Ain't no grass or nothing on that.
No, like it's slowly getting better now. And we play this Sunday at 12, man. Come on, get you some tacos. Bring the girls, run around, you know?
Yeah.
So
I seen they have food and all kind of stuff.
Yeah, food trucks and all that. And then,
I played soccer here in town. There was a select team. And this was
not with TSA, Texarkana Soccer Association.
Yeah, this was Texarkana United Soccer Club.
Okay.
And they pulled from
high schools.
TSA.
Okay.
Yeah, we started when we were like 12. We had this one team. It was just this one team. And so we just moved up to the age brackets.
Okay.
And we played select, and we played, Dallas, Shreveport. We just made our rounds, Little Rock, and just that type of circle. One time we went and played in South Carolina after we won in, I think it was like 17U in Arkansas. That was cool.
Yeah.
It was cold.
Yeah.
We had a lot of people from Texas. It was mainly Texas High we was pulling from.
Gotcha.
I was the only guy from Liberty Eylau.
Wow. And I got a question, man. I coach soccer over there.
At Liberty Eylau?
But I'm not gonna coach soccer this year. I've taken other responsibilities at the school. So there's another guy another coach. Shout out to Coach Zane Cole. He's gonna be taking over the boys. But I don't understand why the soccer culture has never been able to grow there.
Never.
It's like you see the other schools. They get a coach here every now and then. The program goes up and down, but it's never shut down.
Dude, so when I was in high school,
is it the culture? Because you've played bad. I would really like to know.
They played Pass It to Joe. Like no, I'm not even lying. Like not even to hype myself up, but I played select at the time.
So you were marinated.
Yeah, because I would go play Texas High. I'm playing all my teammates. I go play PG. I was playing against some of my teammates. I go play, scrimmage Arkansas High. I'm playing my teammates. Because a good core majority of all the best players in town in our age group were traveling and playing together. Wow. And I would be the only one from Liberty Eylau. We would get stomped out. But Texas High beat us 10-1 one time. I had the one goal.
Wow. Wow.
But, I think, and we would have athletes that just didn't know how to play soccer.
And that's the thing. Like, I was like, I was talking to one of my colleagues, and I was like, man, if like somehow, back then, if they tapped into this talent that's at LE, we would have had a really good soccer team.
Dude, we had this guy, Roy Butler, did not play soccer his entire growing up. And they just stuck him on the soccer team. And he just said, sure. He was probably the fastest dude I've ever seen in my life.
Bro.
It just insanely fast. And then sometimes we would just send him. And he didn't even shoot all that well.
Right.
But like the whole plan a lot of time was just to send the long ball. Right, yeah. And he was outrunning some of these elite defenders there, because there was definitely some good defenders at Texas High and PG for sure. Right. And we would just kick it, pray. I mean, that was Liberty Eyelau. But see, our coach, I caught him one time. He was I had his class. He was reading Soccer Coaching for Dummies. And I was like, no, this can't be good. And then the other one we finished with, Coach Voth, bless his soul, he taught government and history, and he would just make us run. We would just run. We just always get in trouble and just just run. So our drills weren't very I don't remember ever doing any drills.
Yeah, to actually grow the
there was a lot of scrimmaging. There was a lot of foolery. We would bring boxing gloves with us we'd go on the road and we'd be beating each other up in other people's locker rooms. We played Pittsburgh. We knew he was finna get our back blown out.
Sulphur Springs.
Yeah, we go play,
Man, talk about being humbled.
Oh, yeah, dude.
The 2 years that I coached there, because you got to picture this, bro. Last year was my last year I played semi-pro because I just couldn't. I tried to play this year. I probably made training twice. And I just couldn't keep going because just been, family, work. It's like, man, do I really want to go to Shreveport or Little Rock for this game, or I can go and make this money? So last year was my last year playing semi-pro. And I played at many levels, many countries. This past 2 years I've coached at LE.
Yeah, just
I have
to come
been
play at
humbled.
Yeah, just to come coach at Liberty Eylau.
Completely humbled. But I learned a lot, man.
Yeah.
I learned a lot, and it really helped build my character, as far as that. And to be honest, this is a true conversation I had with the kids, and they even said it to me. They said the last season game we played, it was a home game. I remember after the game, we sat in the huddle. I talked to them and gave them what may be the expectations for the year coming, as far as like, hey, I may be doing some other stuff for the district that I would enjoy, and I enjoy teaching kids how to do media. That's my passion. And so they're like, Coach, you know what? We really appreciate you, but we won't be mad if you said that next year you're not going to coach. But we want to tell you that this is the most fun we've had at this program. And man, it's crazy. Almost you can make a grown man cry a little.
Right. Yeah. If we'd had a coach like you
from back then, dude.
Yeah.
Then right now, somebody else would have just picked up the pieces and not there would be like the foundation. So right now, what you're telling me is I'm having to build the foundation, and it takes a lot of work.
We would get like, on throw-ins, like so many penalties, like people lifting their feet, like that type of stuff in games.
And so when I got there, some of the practices, like I would have to work on stuff like that.
Yeah, like
baby
simple
steps.
stuff.
Yeah.
Like, because I played all over, and I was like, dude, throw the ball in.
Yeah.
We could throw it far.
But they don't know though, you know what I mean? And it's not their fault. It's not their fault, man. And so however, a few of the kids that played last year, a few of them, I've sent them to recommended them to clubs. So we got probably 3-4 kids playing club soccer, you know what I mean? And, I coach with TSA. And
Tavian?
Tavian, I never saw him play, but I met him at A&M.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's with the gaming program.
Yeah, he played soccer, but I know he's kind of...
We played pickup together at A&M and stuff, but I know he came from LE.
Yeah,
I actually saw some old pictures of the LE soccer team, and I saw his picture, so I was like, oh yeah, he went to LE.
Yeah, I know he kind of helped coach a little bit at one point, and he played on one of the teams. There was one year where we had maybe 4 players. It was my senior year,
right?
Where we had about 4 people, but it was like, if you're... You know how soccer is. Every level, you've got to have somebody. If your midfield's lacking, you're in trouble.
Yeah.
If your forwards are lacking, you're in trouble. If you ain't got no defense, you might as well go home.
Yeah.
And so it was like you couldn't spread out.
But I had the most fun, and I had the most humbling experience, and I really enjoyed it. And I give a shout out to all the high school coaches.
Yeah.
That's why with their wives, that takes time away from family. Sometimes you do after school hours. It was a good experience though.
Have you met Chris Paul, the coach? He's starting there this year.
Chris Paul,
coach, big guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's that's one of my best friends.
Okay, well, yeah. We've chopped it up a little bit, but
that's my buddy.
Yeah. I always see him.
I was in his wedding a couple weeks ago or whatever. Him and his wife just moved from Texas.
I did see her as well. Yeah, I think she would. Is it English? Yeah.
English, yeah. He played at Liberty Eylau, so that's cool for him to get to come back.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw his post on Facebook saying he's glad to come back home. They brought back a few hometown heroes Hall and stuff.
Yeah,
kids loving it. I'm excited. They scrimmage New Boston tomorrow, at home. So
that'd be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, Liberty Eyelau's football is exciting normally.
Yeah. Now, they, obviously I don't know too much about their plays, but from what I've heard from the kids, they say man, we're moving the ball really fast.
Yeah.
So
that'll be cool to see.
I'm excited to see it tomorrow.
Yeah, man, sports. So on you have a business now, right?
Yes, sir, I do. Going in 3 years now. Yeah.
So what is that? It's video work, I'm assuming, right?
Yeah, just it's video photography, social media marketing, social media management, really. And then, yeah.
Is it just you? Is it you?
Yeah, it's just me.
Okay,
it's just
cool.
me. It kind of started off like a hobby.
Right.
It actually, whenever I was at game day, I would get little side gigs on the side, and then it just picked up, man. And then I got into the real estate realm. I started doing a lot of real estate photography.
Shooting, videos.
And so I kind of liked that because, it wasn't music videos. It wasn't sports.
Yeah, a lot of people, they get a camera and they're like, okay, it's time to shoot a music video. I feel like that gets played out.
Yeah, I know. And then I see all these guys right now, like, it's like I said, I did not want to touch the music realm. I did not want to go to sports.
Same.
You know what I mean? And so got into real estate and then got into weddings. And that's kind of been my niche, really.
A lot of, I'm sure you'll agree with this. A lot of people don't, like business owners, we kind of touched on it earlier, talking about podcasts, but like how important social media is for your business and stuff. And all the new things, like if I had a drone and I flew it over while I was like pumping septic tanks, like even something like that.
Yeah.
Like that would be cool.
That would be, bro, I'm telling you, man. Like
almost every business could benefit from like doing stuff like that.
You get a really good dude like me that can really work the camera and like the angles you're looking for because every business I work with, it's a different style, different take. They can't all have the same content. And so I try to tell a lot of business owners, I'm like, nah, social media is the way, and your content has to be appealing. Right now, people, they hear about this really cool spot, they go to your social media. When they kind of start scrolling on there, I'm like, yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I see a lot of podcasts, and you're doing a good job because you have the right lighting, you have a good camera, you know what I mean? You have good mics, so it's quality at the end of the day.
Right.
People don't understand that. Like, quality matters every time.
Yeah, I knew when I wanted to do one, like, especially audio, because I knew audio was going to bother me, but I didn't want it to be like we're sitting here like hovering over some phones and stuff.
Yeah, no, I see that a lot, and I'm like, oh, no, man. Like, it's expensive if you're going to do this stuff.
Yeah. But once you get a podcast set up, and especially like me doing like all the stuff, like I can just do unlimited amount of episodes. It's just how much do I want to talk to people?
Yeah, right.
And how much time can I find to edit the stuff? That's really my only cap. Because we were putting our money together, like me and my buddy, we're putting our money together and paying, episode at a time.
Right.
And for some people, that might be the route. But like, I knew I wanted volume. So it's like, no, I got to have my own so I can do like 4 a week. I did like 6 last week. I went on 2 people's podcasts, did 3 interviews, and did 1 episode of my other show last week.
I watched that, I think the recent one you did with the guy that was fighting the
Craig Campbell, MMA coach.
I really enjoyed that one.
Yeah,
he was very cool. Like real.
Yeah, he's cool. He don't sugarcoat. He was very real. He'll tell you what it is.
So, you invite different people. I saw Matt Fry's one.
Yeah, that's my boy. I love Matt.
Yeah.
I've got some cool stuff coming.
I saw Nick's one too. Yeah,
Nick. Me and Nick, especially me and Nick have talked so long, and I was on his podcast, and so it's like I already knew we was going to hit. I got his brother coming soon. Okay. His brother comes to town.
Well, yeah.
So that'll be cool.
Yeah.
Do you know Eric Aiken? Have you ever crossed paths with Eric Aiken?
Yes, Fields of Faith.
Yes, got him coming.
Yeah.
And he'll be here September 5th.
Worked with his stuff when I was at Game Day.
Yeah, so he's gearing up for the big Fields of Faith deal coming through. So that'd be cool. And
I think it's over at, he does it at PG. I don't know where he's going to do it.
Yeah,
I think it's always
It used to be PG, Like, he gets like thousands of kids there.
But what I love about that is like every school shows up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not like it's about this school or that school. Everybody pulls up.
Yeah, I actually performed at one of those because I was doing some music at that time. And like, there was
I got listed to some of your stuff.
There was like 3,000 people there. It was crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, and so I did like 2 songs in front of like 3,000 people. Yeah. Like, it was kids.
It's a good crowd, man.
Yeah, then he took me to some FCA did there where we got to go watch a Hog game. But before they had like a service, and there was like 2,500 kids there. And we were in the indoor track of Arkansas's facility in Fayetteville.
Wow.
And then we walked from there. Like, we literally walked to the football game and then watched the Hogs play. It was cool. But yeah, so that was 2 times I was in front of like a lot of people because of Eric. He had put me in front of a bunch of people. And that was cool. Man, I've made different kinds of music throughout. I've done a lot of experiment. I think if I was to ever really get back into music, I would probably write music for somebody.
Okay, yeah.
Because I can write. Like,
okay, nice.
I have a guy
which a lot of these artists need.
Yeah, bad.
Yeah.
I have a guy that I pretty much like. He writes pretty much what he wants to say, and then this guy pays me to like go through and like fix it. You know, take words out, add words, rework lines and stuff like that. And so that's like some of the easiest money I ever. I just sit there, like he'll send me. I like copy and paste your notes, send them to me, and so we'll put the music. Like he just sits like right here, and we'll sit right here,
right.
And I'll just put the mic up, and I'll just record myself saying his lines, and I'll figure out like work through it. And then I'll send him like a demo. He goes home and listens to what I did for his work.
Yeah.
And then he comes back like a week later and does like the song.
Wow. Wow.
So I think
you're a writer, and that's why I think that's why also the podcast thing works out pretty good.
Yeah.
As far as like conversations and
I can talk to people forever.
Yeah.
And
not a lot of people have that talent.
I'm taking in like a ton of podcasts too, like because I work by myself at work. Most of the time, you know, my dad's there sometimes, but we normally split and go do different things. Yeah. Like today, I sat on a tractor. I dug like 3 long trenches today, and I was just sitting there digging and digging. Right. I listened to, you know, Joe Rogan for 2 hours, and I listened to American Criminal for like 4 hours.
I like Robinson. Is it Robinson? What's his name? His podcast.
He's like an inspirational dude.
Yeah.
Tony Robbins.
Yeah. I like him. He's cool. Yeah, I listen to his on my like when I'm traveling or something. Yeah.
I saw him on Theo. I listened to him on Theo the first time. That's when I first figured out about him. That dude does like seminars.
Dude, I'm talking about like, and did you hear about when he interviewed these dudes that made a movie, like it was a real movie about, you know, the kids getting kidnapped and I forgot the name of the movie, man, but Tony Robinson, he did that podcast and me and my wife were listening to it and she was like, please turn it off. Yeah.
That's how I felt today. I was listening to a podcast called American Criminal. I done found it so good.
Yeah.
It sounds, you know, when you're watching like the History Channel and you're watching stuff like where it's like like a documentary basically, but it's in podcast form. So there's like sounds going in the background, a little kind of like a little bit of reenactment stuff.
So you kind of have a feeling like you're.
Yeah, there's little music going through it and stuff like that. And I learned about I feel like this lady is probably the worst lady I think I've ever heard about in my entire life today. Her name was Georgia Tan. She's for the 1920s. Sure. She was, a lot of people don't know about her. I was asking my wife, I was like, I think I just heard about the worst woman in history. Have you heard about this lady? And she was like, no, I don't know. What did she do? She was selling babies. Like, so she got into adoption and she just started stealing babies.
Man.
And giving them to rich people.
I think the movie was called like Sounds of Freedom or something. And so Tony Robinson was obviously interviewing these cats that, you know, he obviously contributed. He gave a donation towards this whole production,
right.
And they steal these kids. You know, some of these kids in Afghanistan, in Iraq, they inject they take their fluids off their like spine for some ritual stuff.
Oh no!
So one time, these guys like they bumped into like a trap house or something in Afghanistan, and this kid was completely hopeless. So he took this kid, and in the process of taking care of this kid, he ended up adopting this child, and then you know, up to like finally getting full strength back. But yeah, like they were like injecting and taking their spinal fluid to use. It's. I'll look for it and then I'll send it to you. You have to watch it, man.
Isn't it crazy that there's just that kind of evil out there?
And like then now that I have a son, man.
Yeah, like I'm listening to this lady. I'm talking about this lady today. I'm like, they're taking babies from the hospital.
Yeah.
And she was like preying on single mothers and stuff. Like she had the whole game. And she ended up working for the state. So like the judge and her
she
lawyer
had access.
thousands of kids.
Yeah.
Like infants.
No.
And some of them were dying, like, because they weren't taking good care of them.
That's what I don't understand.
And I was hurt. Like, it hurt me.
What pleasure they get from this?
She was making money. She was selling them. She was selling these kids to rich people. This was in the 20s. She did it from 1920 to like 1950. And you know what? They never arrested this lady. She died. She just died of cancer. And then they figured out, she might be the most evil woman ever.
And you know, it's crazy. So with the same story, with the same movie I'm talking about, they take these kids from like 6-year-old, they kind of butcher them, you know, and then it's crazy, man. 12-year-olds, just sex slaves. Like thinking about it, I'm like, man, it's intense, man. Like I watched the movie, I watched the documentary.
Yeah.
It's just the kid was at home, man. Let's say you're like, you know, when you see your kids play on the front patio, and then just like that, you don't hear any sound anymore. Your kid's gone. It's crazy, man.
That's my worst fear.
Yeah.
My son was playing outside one time. We live out in the country. We were like real isolated and stuff.
Yeah.
And so he's outside a lot. And, you know, I watch him, but, you know, he's a 3-year-old. He kind of wonders sometimes.
Yeah.
And he went around the corner and I'm like, okay, well, there's nothing over there. And I go around the corner. It had been somebody called me, so I was talking on the phone for a minute. I was like, well, I ain't heard him in a minute. Let me go check on him.
Yeah.
Because, you know, silence is bad.
Anyway, whether they're in the room
like, why don't I hear you?
Yeah. You're supposed to be banging stuff.
Yeah. So I go around the corner, I don't see him. I go out to the backyard, I don't see him. And I circle around my house, I don't see him. So then there's like that moment of like, that absolute panic. Like, where is my son? Did he get snatched up? Is he lost?
Start panicking.
He was just hiding from me. He was like behind a tractor. I finally heard him like he was laughing.
Like,
he laughed at me. I was like, son, I thought you were gone forever.
Something my son would do, man. And 3-year-olds, they're at that fun stage where they're like messing around with you. Yeah.
He likes to jump.
Like,
good Lord.
Like
I'm like a damn human trampoline right now. All my kids want to do is jump on me. They like literally, they want lay on the floor, Dad, lay on the floor. And they just jump on me.
Or if I just want to, sometimes I like to lay on the floor and look at, watch TV while I'm on the floor, and he wants to obviously come jump. I'm like, when you're down there, they're like, man, I'm down here because I'm either hurting and I'm just trying to chill.
Yeah.
And then, it's fun though, because you're going to miss that age.
Oh, yeah. I already missed when they were little, like little. Yeah. Especially my daughter, because she would just like chill with me a lot.
Yeah.
And it was like a cool feeling. Like she'd always come to me. And now she's just out like destroying things.
Doing her own thing.
Yeah.
Independent.
So how old are you?
I turned 30 this year in October.
Yeah, I'll turn 30. I'll turn 30 in September. So.
For real?
Yeah.
Yeah, I turned 30 October 13, man.
It's starting to hurt, ain't it?
Well, man, like, it's when I'm hurting somewhere and I don't remember what happened.
Yeah.
So now I'm sitting, did I bang myself somewhere?
Yeah.
Or maybe it would have been when I was jumping off that thing and thinking I still got it.
Yeah.
Because I still got
it. It's dangerous, ain't it? I still got it.
I still got it, man. And like, or when I play on Sundays and I try to do fancy flicks again and then I land on my back and it's fine, but the next day it's like my neck's feels like my neck's dislocated.
Yeah.
Oh, you remember Sunday? You tried to jump and then you landed on your...
You tried a bicycle kick.
I'm like, man, 30's coming hard.
Yeah. It's funny. I try to explain to my son that I'm getting old, and he's just like, "What do you mean?
What do you mean, man?" But it's a fun age, man. My dad was telling me when I was on the phone with him, he was like, "Man, you're lucky you get to play with your kid, because they had me not too late, but a little bit late. But with me, like with my son, like right now, I can keep up with him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like 30, but I'm just hitting my prime.
Yeah. That's what I'm telling. I want to play basketball with him. Like when he gets to be a teenager,
you gotta keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah, I still want to be able to like give him buckets. Like,
because now you're getting at that age where, like, this 30 age is very crucial. If you slack off a little bit, you can catch weight pretty fast. Like it's gonna go boom, bro. So that's why I try to still stay active. I play every Sunday and. I kind of got back into the gym a little bit again because I was like, whenever my son was born, I was probably like 6 months into the gym and I felt very good about my body and like my physique and mental.
Yeah.
And then when my son was born, like, I just kind of got into a mode where I was just working and I didn't do anything.
It happens.
For 3 years.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
For 3 years, it was just go mode. I played soccer, obviously. But, I'm like, okay, 30's coming. I got to get back in the gym, work, and do better, eat better.
Yeah, I think they say like what happens in your 30s is has a lot to determine like how the rest of your life is going to be.
30 to 40, man. This is the year where I can't sleep off because I'm like, during my 20s, you do stuff, you recover quick.
Recover still, yeah.
Body, all that stuff gets out quick. But now it's like, okay, I got to start now.
I've been doing ice baths.
I seen that.
And
how's that going, man? You'd never catch me doing that.
I love it. Bro, at first I was so opposed to it, but who was it? Joe Rogan hyped me up on it. He was talking about like, you'll feel amazing and all this stuff. And I was like, I was like, you gotta be, this is some bull crap. But I said, I'll do it. And so I filled up a tub and I did it. And I was like, I never felt so like clear-headed, like ever. Like, cause it's a mental thing.
It's a reset button.
Yeah.
Almost.
And so I do it every day.
That shock.
Yeah. So I'll miss a day every once in a while, but like, so I freeze my own ice. Okay. And I use a trash can, like a big industrial trash can. I just get in it. And so I don't need all that much ice. So I freeze I have like, I think it's like 8 different Tupperware deals. So like they freeze over.
On there, they're big and
yeah. So I get it down. Normally I can get them down from 50 to about 42.
Okay.
That's about how cold I normally get them. And I just do 4 to 5 minutes in it. Every day.
Nothing crazy.
Yeah, because I sit in there one time, I had this big tub. And I got it down to like, I think it was like 50. It wasn't like too cold. But then I sat in there and I had been doing it for like 2 weeks. So I was like, okay, well, I'm going to sit in here for a while today.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I hype myself. You know how you get on some macho stuff sometimes and you're like, So I sat in there and I got kind of comfortable. So I was like, I'm going to do this thing. So I stayed in there for like 12 minutes.
Oh, man.
And I go to get out and I'm realizing that like I can't close. This is the fastest I could close my hands.
And even as an athlete, they probably stay like, what, 8 minutes?
Yeah, you're not really supposed to be in there that long. Because like in 15 minutes of cold exposure to water, you can get really sick. And then because even like, I think they say that's why people get hypothermia even in like the ocean. Even when it's only like 78 degrees, like if you get, like there's a certain point where you can freeze to death because your body can't regulate.
Right. Okay, yeah.
So you're only supposed to be in cold water for like a certain amount of time.
That's understood. I get what you're saying.
Yeah, so like the water didn't even have to be crazy cold. So like if I sat in one of these tubs at 50 degrees for too long, like you could mess something up because you're slowing everything down. I got out of there and luckily it was like 100 degrees that day. I couldn't do nothing but like stumble over to the ground. I just laid in the grass and sat in the sun. I felt like you ever seen when the somebody like a caveman got frozen ice?
Yeah,
I was just I was in the front yard just thawing out,
getting that ice in, and getting that hot weather.
I was cold for the rest of the day
because it's internal, man. Yeah. I never liked ice baths, in college, but I eventually had to like start liking them because I would see how my friend's recovery progress was quicker.
Turn you around.
Yeah. And so, I did ice baths, every now and then kind of got into it, but I've seen people doing cold plunges a lot.
It's an everyday thing for me. Like almost every day. And when I don't do it, I can feel it.
But then you working outside in the heat too, I bet that is really good for your body.
Yeah. I also do the sauna too. So like if I don't work, I do the sauna. Like if I'm not outside in the heat all day, I go do the sauna almost every day.
Yeah.
And on a good, like an off day, I'm doing a cold plunge, a workout, hopefully playing basketball, and the sauna.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
And by the end of that, I need a nap. But I'm feeling like, I feel better like when I'm, and I'm trying to eat better. Like I've been on kind of like this carnivore diet deal where I've been eating like almost steak every meal.
Wow. Yeah, that's good.
Like some
shit
through you. Yeah. I'm telling you, it's different.
Yeah, you feel like very energized.
Bro. I feel like an animal, bro.
and so, but what's that like meat and veggies?
Yeah, I pretty much just eat veggies right
maybe
now.
Potatoes a little bit.
Yeah, and I quit eating cheeseburgers because I have a cheeseburger addiction. So I'm off cheeseburgers. It's been like 2 weeks since I had a cheeseburger, which is big for me because I probably eat 12 cheeseburgers a week because I just love cheeseburgers.
Yeah. You can't go wrong with a good cheeseburger.
A good cheeseburger.
I go to what's that place downtown?
TLC.
Yeah, they got the best.
Yeah, they got.
I don't know, but they got maybe. If
I like going to Flying Burger and getting. You ever been to Flying Burger?
Yes, I have, but I can't remember the last time I went, bro.
Oh, it's so good. They got a good burger. There's a place off in the country called 237 Grocery. It's way ducked off on Arkansas
side?
Yeah, way out in the woods.
Wow.
One of the best burgers.
I
got to talk about burgers.
You got to take. Yeah. So you live around LA area?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, dude. I'm like 5 minutes from here.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I won't tell you where I live on the podcast.
We definitely got to link up.
Yeah, I'm right down there. I'm down. I'm deep into Liberty Eylau. Like, it's about as deep as you can get.
Yeah.
Like, into Liberty Eylau.
Okay.
But yeah, kind of towards the river. I don't know if you know, like the river's back behind Liberty Eylau. You ever drove to Atlanta and gone over the bridge and you seen the big...
what's that river called? I forgot.
Sulphur River?
Yeah.
It goes behind Liberty Eylau. So Liberty Eylau basically is cut off by the river.
Okay.
So yeah. So like when you're driving, you kind of come around the curve on 59 if you're going to Atlanta.
Yeah.
And the big river's coming through there.
River.
That thing comes all the way behind Liberty Eylau, and that's pretty much the boundaries. Because it goes all the way like over towards almost like Falcon stuff as it takes off through Arkansas and stuff.
Like Genoa kind of.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
okay.
What's that talking about?
So it is a pretty big.
Yeah. So I had the fire chief for the volunteer Liberty Eylau Fire Department. I had him in here yesterday. Yeah, Kevin.
Yeah, he's cool
Kevin.
Dude.
Kevin's cool as hell.
We did a little mini interview documentary when I first got to LE.
Oh, cool.
LE TV.
Yeah.
That was one of our first projects we did.
It was so cool.
We interviewed him, Timothy Brown. Shout out to Timothy Brown.
Yeah, we had Timothy on here too.
Yeah.
Because he's on the school board now.
Yeah. Young Timmy.
Yeah, Timmy.
And then he's pretty cool.
But yeah, Kevin was cool. And we talked about firefighter stuff. He's also a firefighter at the airport. Like that's his regular job. He's a regular firefighter.
Okay, yeah.
At the airport.
His dad was also part of that volunteer.
He was
He's still involved a little bit. Yeah. His dad's funny.
So he was telling me about all the emergencies they have to respond to. He says they get more. So right down the road here is Station 7, and that's kind of like
the one near Dairy Queen.
Yep. He says that they get more calls for the Liberty Eylau community than they get more calls than Station 7 gets for the actual city side.
Wow.
So he says they're like always.
They always have stuff burning. I mean, in the country. Yeah. I'm telling you, man. I met Timothy actually like 2 days ago. We had meet up because, just exchanging some stuff with the camera. And when he came up, I was like, dude, you look like tired. And he's like, man, I've had 2 calls this morning. And he was barely like 12. I was like, you don't do it. Yeah, he said last night, like at 3 a.m., they had a call. And then he had 2 calls that morning. And man, they're some G's, like real G's.
Yeah, we were talking about first responders last night. Because that was last night.
And it's all volunteer. Like I really have so much respect for it.
Yeah, for real. To get up and not get paid and go, rescue somebody's grandma from falling in the shower. And
whenever we did the interview, some of the stories we were talking about, he said like, they would go into, you're going into this house. You don't know if you're going to come back.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's crazy.
So.
Yeah, we talked a lot. We even talked about like PTSD, and we talked about like I asked him a bunch about like how do you live with seeing like some of the crazy stuff. Well, we went down the rabbit hole, but yeah.
They're married to that life, man. I don't know. It's a heart to serve. It's a serving heart that not a lot of people have.
Right. So LETV, Matt was telling me, Matt was like on like the original.
Yeah, the OG. So at first I didn't even know if he did LETV at first. I just know as he was like director of communications.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think whenever he left, they probably just kind of like, the GOAT left.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So they just never really.
He was a great guy, man. Shout out to Matt Fry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that. So there was kind of like a hole for what you did that was needed over there.
And crazy how I even got it, man. Like it was just like I went to film for Gameday at an event. It was they had a function for like the Liberty Eylau basketball team, and they had like a luncheon, something fancy for the kids. And so I went and filmed there, and then I'm done filming, and then next thing you know, I'm at the table, sitting down eating, and I'm next to a few gentlemen, and they know they're board members. And so I start talking to them, and they pick up an accent. And I'm like, okay, dude, where are you from?
Yeah.
So I tell them like, what are you doing here? people ask me like, why Texarkana?
Yeah, I asked you that.
Yeah, exactly. Like, why Texarkana? But it's so crazy because I see a lot of potential here.
Yeah.
And
sure.
I think because, I've been to a lot of places, and so I can find the good and the bad. People say Texarkana this, Texarkana that, but it's got a lot of untapped potential.
I believe that. I agree 100%. Yeah.
And so 10 years from now, it's actually downtown. I'm always in downtown because of videos and stuff.
Yeah.
And I see progress a lot. They have something called Main Street Texarkana now, where, if you have a new business you're trying to open out there, they help you fund it. So,
Wow.
there's a lot of stuff they do. So, but I mean, it's great.
The LETV thing is important now. And here's why. I think because if you ask high schoolers, I think I was reading, somebody was talking about some poll. They asked young high school age people like what their dream job was. You would be surprised the percentage of people that are saying like content creator. Like that's like the dream job because that's what they see.
Yeah.
And so if school could teach you the skills to do that, I mean, it just makes sense.
And really like, man, and that's what I'm saying right there on the content creation. That's the style I teach my kids. So you have other schools that, a certain school was well known for broadcasting. Maybe this other school is known for like short films, and our niche is content creation. Because, when I worked at Gameday and I, learned the ins and outs, and I'm like, as long as you have the right equipment and have the right ideas, media can be put out there in any way. Not everything has to be TV-wise or like when you talk about television, it's changing now. So, they're tapping more into like the social media and knowing how to work the social media. And like, I think it's just a different kind of style, more kind of,
Yeah, because if you could learn at school how to make money from like knowing how to act on Facebook, like that's important. Like knowing how to post on this, post on that,
Right. And the good thing is I teach a practicum class. So I have an audio and visual class where it's more of like my sophomores, maybe I can have freshmen, and you have to be recommended to come to my class. And the reason I did that is because I tell the kids, and not to like trying to sound rude, but I tell them it's a privilege to be in my class because I'm teaching you a skill that you can get a job right outside that door. And that's what I try to tell them. And since I have a practicum class, I teach a practicum class, I can hire these kids. So a few kids that I see have really high potential, I bring them out to the field with me. I've taken a few kids to the weddings with me. I mean, I take a kid to a wedding and I pay them pretty good. Because it's an internship, they're coming and getting that experience. I own an LLC, so it fits perfect right in. But I'm not going to hire a kid if I don't see potential.
Right.
Only a few. When I first got to LE, I had a student. Her name is Isabella Roach. Probably I'm never going to forget about her. When she joined my class and we were talking and she did a few, like when you're working with a student and they got it, but she wanted to be a marine biologist. And I'm not knocking on any marine biologist or science, but I saw the potential she had and I'm like, she's trying to be a marine biologist, but it says digital media all over her face and the way she moves. And so I didn't knock on her when she said that I want to be a marine biologist. I said, oh, well, I was actually pretty impressed.
Yeah.
And later on, as she kind of warmed up to me and I warmed up to her, I slowly started breaking it down to her. That do you understand that in order to be a marine biologist, you're probably going to have to maybe get your master's or even your doctorates to start actually seeing potential in it.
That's a lot of college.
There's no money in science, you know what I mean? Unless you are discovered some neutrons or something or...
Yeah, most scientists, because I listen to a lot of science stuff, and like from what I can tell, most scientists are just begging for funding.
Exactly, funding. Because I mean, and I got respect for them. It's like with the volunteering with the fire department and stuff. It's like scientists love that. They love to like find stuff because without them, we wouldn't know how stuff works, you know? And so she wanted to be a marine biologist. And I said, Bella, I gave her the realistic. She thought she was going to go to the ocean and play with shells, you know, and all that. And I gave her the realistic. I was like, this is what you're going to do. And I gave her a good example of what I did. I mean, not a mistake I did. I went to school and I went to school for psychology. Psychology was my major. I changed my major about 4 times. I wanted to I did psychology. And then later on, come to find out, I was like, I'm going to need to at least get a doctorate or a master's if I'm even trying to get a legit psychology, be a legit psychologist. I'm not going to get nothing with my associates or bachelor's.
Right.
And so I gave her the realistic situation. I was like, I wanted to be a psychologist, but after finding out the route I have to take to become one, that's not what I want. And so she recently just started at UNT in Dallas for digital marketing.
There you go.
So if I can change one kid every year, I think I'll be good.
Yeah, I think that's the power of being a teacher, like a good teacher. Because I had some bad teachers and I had some good teachers too. Yeah. But yeah, you have the opportunity to mold somebody, you know, or at least show them what can be.
Yeah, what can be.
Yeah,
for sure.
But digital marketing right now is the most, like, one of the most important things.
Fast growing industry. And
all right, so last question before because it's getting late. But we have to talk about it because you're a technology guy. You can probably guess where it's going. Yeah. What do you think about AI and the way it's heading?
I haven't used it, man.
You don't use it in any way, shape, or form?
I haven't used a single bit of AI, and I'm not even kidding you. So, like, whenever I started creating film, like editing and stuff, even at Gameday, I was that kind of person that never went and looked for templates. I built everything from scratch.
Right.
And so whenever Morgan Smith wanted to, like, oh, we got this project coming, Ron's got to do this project. Because, like, I bet you, like, this guy would get it done. And so, I don't know, maybe it's just my old ways, I guess, or I'm not wanting to accept it. You know, people have told me to start implementing it, especially like with weddings and stuff. But I'm not going to give AI to edit my weddings.
Right, yeah.
People like my style. People hire me because they like my style. Yeah. You know what I mean? And that's why even when I hire some of these kids, like, I hire them to go film and stuff, but at the end product, I still want to do it because at the end of the day, people are coming to clean visuals because of Ronnie. Yeah. Not because of somebody else. And so it's just, now they're saying that AI can kind of mimic your ways. You know, they kind of study that. Maybe I need to give it a shot. But that's why I don't want to do it because I'm going to lose.
Yeah, a part of you. I understand. I get it totally. Because, like, when I record people, there's like AI tools and stuff now that you can use. Like, you can almost edit something with AI.
But for podcast, I would consider using it.
Yeah, I use something called Opus Clip where it makes clips for me. Yeah. I just upload it.
Yeah, like, dude, a link for podcast, I would do that. Yeah. But for, like, weddings, I could see it maybe in real estate because at the end of the day, it's still my shots. But with wedding, it's more of like painting a picture.
Right.
It's different.
The capabilities of it and the fact they're not slowing down.
Yeah. Because, you know, we got AI for everything.
Yeah, we're like in an arms race almost with, like, China.
Man,
the United States will not slow. And I've listened to probably 25 hours of podcasts, of different podcasts talking about AI. So I'm decently informed about, you know, what it is and where they're going and why it is, how it is. And so it's basically an arms race. We can't stop because China's not going to stop. So AI is going to keep rolling along, and it's just going to go until hopefully we can keep it under control. Hopefully it stays a tool and doesn't, like,
what's crazy
become something else, but it can't slow down. And that's the thing. Like, so have you ever heard of Sora?
No.
Sora is a video generation deal that's not even for the public yet, but I believe it's through OpenAI, which is through ChatGPT. It's the people that make ChatGPT or whatever, which the next version we get of ChatGPT, like when 5 comes out, it's going to be able to do, like, so it can already. So originally, like, when they try to define, like, artificial intelligence, like, or the word I'm trying to, like, general intelligence, like smart as a human almost.
Yeah, yeah.
We had goalposts for what that was years ago. Like in 2010, they said, could it pass this certain test called the Turing test? And the Turing test is basically when you can trick a human into thinking it's Like you're talking to a human and that human thinks that you're a human, but it's AI.
Right. Wow.
Okay. It passed that test in like 2022. Like easy now. And like easy.
Yeah.
They even got around the Are You a Robot deal. You know, the little CAPTCHA thing where you have to, you know, like when a website asks you, are you a robot?
Okay, yeah. The little blocks.
Yeah, it tricked them. It told them I'm a blind person.
Oh my goodness.
And so that let him get around that. Like I can't click these, I can't see what's on the screen. I'm a blind person. And then they were like, oh,
scary.
Okay. Yeah. So it's already
taking people's jobs.
That's what I'm getting to. That's what I'm scared of because it's not going to slow down. Anyway, Sora. Sora's video generation. Type in, you're typing in something, walking through Tokyo in the rain. Generate.
Boom.
It'll make go home. If you want to get scared, go home and type in AI Sora.
AI Sora.
And see the video generation. There's these mammoths that run through like the snow.
Yeah. There's a buddy of mine that, you know, he's in the real estate game as well, like as far as real estate production. And, you know, we meet up every now and then, kind of bust ideas. And he was like, dude, you have to see what this AI stuff does. So he can put crazy clouds on, you know what I mean, on the sky, make it look like your house is like on a sunset or something. He can change your, landscaping, add some grass on there. I'm like, no wonder I see some of these like real estate photos and I'm like, there's no way.
Yeah.
There's no way.
They had some help. Yeah, I'm scared, dude, because like Amazon was the first like big company to like lay people off and like by like the thousands. I think they let 1,000 people go at Amazon. And it was because it was like coding jobs, like basic coding.
Yeah.
It can do that.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And then you have Elon building robots.
Yeah,
like,
I know.
It's got Optimus. And my thought is he seems to think like robots will be like in everyone's household. Like
I don't know if you're going to, man, you know what? You know, they say like you have a pit bull or this kind of dog. Maybe one day it's going to turn on you.
Yeah.
Imagine a robot turning on you.
You ever watch iRobot?
Yeah, I have.
Yeah, maybe we shouldn't do this.
I have. Maybe I don't think it's a good idea because you know what? No matter how big buff you are, when a robot is like,
oh yeah,
got you.
Yeah. And they'll be able to have like AI to do what they're thinking.
Do dishes or do my laundry.
Yeah, that's what I think that they'll sell it to us at first would be like, you know,
like
your own
chores,
little butler.
house chores.
Yeah. He'll mow the yard.
Yeah.
He'll cook the dinner. You just do whatever.
You want to take my wife on a date too?
Yeah. Oh, bro, don't get me started on that, bro. Don't get me started on that. I was listening to comedians were making fun of it. I was listening to a podcast, but they was making way too much sense. I was like, oh no.
Good job, man.
Woo.
Because you know
when the AI robot when the AI robot is giving your lady the business.
Yeah.
When he say, I can't compete.
That's hilarious, man.
Oh no.
Oh man, yeah, it's crazy.
But a lot of guys, they're gonna be down for that because they're gonna have they'll be able to have like maybe like I know this is kind of a nasty topic, but like physical intimacy without arguing. Hear me out. No,
this is bad, man.
But no, I feel like that's how it starts though. Like, you know, you have your butler, or you have your this, and then you have that, and it thinks on its own. But I mean, so you've seen Avengers, right? You remember the first Avengers?
Yeah.
You remember Ultron? Basically, in Ultron, they had like something where, you know, Jarvis, because
Jarvis.
Tony Stark basically created his
Jarvis,
AI.
Yeah.
Well, it got corrupted or something. I'm trying to remember exactly what happened. Anyways, it formed Ultron. Ultron basically was like evil AI. Anyways,
I'm gonna have to go brush myself up again on that.
Yeah. So, but the whole thing is that he woke up, studied all of humankind for like 30 minutes and was like, yo, this place is trash. And so he was like, yeah, he basically was like, the world needs a restart.
Yeah. Wow.
So the AI woke up, took a look around, smelled.
They ain't nothing here.
Sight, touch, all the senses for a second. No.
This ain't.
Y'all suck.
Yeah.
So I'm worried if the robots get smart. Because, you know, to be real, us as humans, we are flawed.
What
you
if
know?
they get smart and they start running stuff, man?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And that's why you have to be careful because we have like these programs. Okay, well, wouldn't it be easy for the water company if they used AI to run the water company? But then when you do that, even though that makes sense and the AI is a tool, then you would be like giving water control.
Yeah, I know.
To something that's not human.
You know, what if China decided to hack these robots?
Yeah. That's the thing. We're leading.
Because you can hack these. They're eventually going to... Any machine, anything can be hackable.
Yeah. So what China does is, from my understanding, they have their own studies and stuff too. Apparently, we're leading the race in AI, but they just espionage a lot of what we learn.
Yeah.
So like every time we do something cool, we make some kind of breakthrough. Like China has it like a week later, and so like we're spending more money and we get there faster. But then like. Because I feel like they definitely infiltrated us by now. You know what I'm saying? But like they kind of copycat us and have ways of getting like our secrets and stuff. But
know,
but you got to think about it from
smart, man. They're
the
smart
military aspect of AI. The first country to figure it out in a way like to gain fighting superiority. Think about everything in history, every fight, every war. How important has it been? Like the people that have the breakthroughs. That's the most dangerous army at that time.
Yeah.
The Germans at the beginning of World War II, they figured out the plane, the Luftwaffe, the special planes that were dropped, like the special bombers that they had that was better than everyone else. So like they just start laying waste to France and Great Britain and all this stuff in the beginning, especially France, because they're right beside France. They start giving France the business. And so we had to like adjust, and we eventually found different ways to combat that. But at the beginning of World War II, Germany was just dogging us out. Not us, but the Allies.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's that type of thing. But if, let's say China perfects some type of, super military AI, and they get it before we do.
And we don't even know. What if they're already plotting? I mean, you never know, man. Okay. They're probably plotting it right now. I mean,
whoever gets the upper hand. But see, and that's the thing about humans. Whoever have it, you don't just, like most... We're not just sitting on.
But man,
like, remember when we discovered the nuclear bomb? What did we do? We showed somebody.
And did you see about? Again, we're getting deeper into politics, but about what's happening in Afghanistan? Like we're sending money.
Dude, I heard. I've listened to several different.
They're sending
people,
money,
but we send like $70 billion to the Taliban a month.
But you know what, man? Honestly, right now, to be honest, like if I'm not. Only reason I get on social media now is to do my social media management stuff for the businesses I work with. But I'm staying away from it, man.
Yeah, in an election year, it's tough to be on social
I'm
media.
trying to stay I'm staying because right now I don't know what to believe. They had another post like on Fox talking to, posting Michelle Obama's post. And then when you go to this other news outlet, they have a different post. I'm like, you know what? How about I just don't watch any of this?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
A lot of people don't trust the news in general now.
No, man. It's like a bunch of rubbish out there, bro.
And the problem with AI too is that, there's going to be AI generated like propaganda soon. Well, there probably already is.
Man, I'm telling you, bro. Like,
and you're not going to know.
It's crazy. You don't know what to believe.
Maybe the young people may know, but my grandma ain't going to know.
No.
If they doctored one of our like if Biden, Trump, anybody, and put it in front of my grandma, she's like, I can't believe he said that.
Exactly. They're going to believe it. And they can't tell if that's, like you said, they can't tell if that's AI. Yeah. AI is so good right now that we obviously can detect. I can detect it because
we're
still
guy.
fresh. Yeah, we're still fresh and like we know this stuff.
They still mess up. They still put like extra pinkies on people and stuff like that. But I mean, that's going away like in the next year.
But like even my mom, sometimes she sends me that, and I'm like, Ma, that stuff's fake. You could tell it by his forehead, or you could, but she can't pick that. And then now imagine my grandma and my granddad.
Yeah, my grandma's in a bind. Does she see anything?
They go, oh
she
my God.
Anything, yeah. My grandma still answers her. She has a corded phone, which is old,
wow.
And she still answers. Like she'll be like, I'll come over. I'll bring my kids over to see her. And she's like 85 now.
Wow.
And so like she'll get calls from like people that it's like spam, and she's like talking to him and she's answering too many questions. I'll be like, hey, grandma.
She better not give him her credit card details.
I said, you need to hang up on. Well, that's rude.
Yeah.
I said, no, they don't got your.
They ain't got time.
Yeah, they finna scam you, grandma. You gotta get off the phone. So I done told my grandma, like, you can only just talk to like your doctor.
Yeah.
Your doctor's offices and your family.
Right. That's it. None of this other stuff.
Because you heard about the Nigerian prince schemes? It's always like this, like it's like one of the most elaborate. Like these guys know how to get there. I guess they're from like Nigeria, and they know how to like call Americans or message them.
Oh, like you're talking about the scammers?
Yeah. Send me 500 right now. I'll send you like 5,000 later. And like for most people, you're like, hell no, I'm not sending you that. But if one person sends you $500, you just made $500.
I had a, because obviously I have a website for my business, and I've had a dude message me one day, say, hey man, I want to throw a surprise party for my wife. My name is so-and-so. He gave me an address for Texarkana. It was on the PG side. And so he gives me the name. Sorry, this is a Caucasian name. And then he talks about the address. He gives me the neighborhood. I'm like, okay, I do real estate photos and stuff. I know this neighborhood. This is a bougie neighborhood. So I'm like, okay, this guy's legit. And so it would text back and forth, give him my details, yada, yada, yada. He gives me his email. I send him my invoice. So if I send you an invoice, you can either pay online or, you can send me a check. He said, I'm going to send you a check, which was kind of weird because there's a pay link on there. So
yeah, if you have a card,
pay me my money there. Yeah, that's what everybody does. And a check later on comes. And then I see the check, and I was like, straight ahead, I knew it was counterfeit. Like it was a fake check because everything looked printed. And then he starts calling me now, because then I'm like, yeah, I got this check. Yada. I already talked to him. I'm like, yeah, I got this check. Yada yada yada. He calls me. I pick up. Straight African accent.
Oh no!
And so I hear him, and so I ask him again, "What is your name?" I kind of like, what is your name? So I can get the accent. And he just kind of stayed quiet, figured out, probably I already figured out who he was, and then he hanged up.
Oh, no.
But he gave like a Glenn something. I'm like, Glenn. Bro, you calling me? You don't sound like Glenn.
You don't sound like Glenn to me.
You sound like you from Nigeria or something. You definitely sound like where I'm from or something. You know what I mean? Strong, thick. Probably it was thicker than my accent.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not Glenn.
I was like, yeah, no, you're not. There's no way, man, you're Glenn.
Man, I just can't find it in myself. Like, cause like the scamming thing was like real popular for, especially like the rappers and stuff. And these guys would come in like
with credit cards and stuff. Yeah.
And like bank accounts. They would find ways to get you like, and there's always like repercussions later for you going through these guys. But that guy, like, they'll be like, I can get you 20 bands, tap in. You're like,
yeah, I know.
Wait a minute. Like, where's this money coming from?
If it was that easy, man, I'm like,
But no, there's guys out there that just can't. But it's like, I don't know. I know we got to wind down, but if you just do straight up business, that's the best way to have longevity, which is really what you're looking for when you're doing business, right?
Yeah.
That short term, like you might break the rules, you might bend the rules, quick money. That's so hard because, like, as you know, you want to get rehired.
Yeah.
You want when you get done working for somebody, you want them to go tell their friends.
Exactly.
Hey,
there's no shortcuts, man.
Yeah, I had an excellent experience with him. You should go to him.
Yeah.
If I scam you for $500, I can't. You can only scan, and that's the thing. You can only scan somebody once.
Yeah. And then once you get them again, and so you're hopping. You're just hopping. Yeah. You're hopping to get somebody.
I need clientele that like me, that want me, and they like what I do, and that's why they're here.
Right. Yeah.
There's no longevity scamming because you're just burning bridges every time you do business.
Still, how long are you gonna? And it's never.
And then they get caught.
It's never like it's nothing consistent. Just for a little bit, and then finally people know your game, and you're out of business.
Yeah. Once you get a bad reputation, especially in a small town, like then you have to like move.
Yeah.
But I bet you.
But these dudes, I'm telling you, man, these dudes scamming. They're in California.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
They're scamming here.
They're scamming here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And there's no telling how many. I guess somebody explained to me that scamming's a lot like fishing. You just got to throw your rod out. And like if you could have a whole bunch of rods out at one time too, a lot of people are not going to bite. But when they do, it's like, oh, a free 500.
Right. Yeah. And I'm telling you, man, it's like they go into you may find they got themselves a little apartment out there, or maybe a condo out there in California, expensive condo, and every day they just maybe 5-6 guys in there. Everybody's scamming. Hopefully one or two will hit. I'm telling you, man.
Oh, man.
It's crazy.
The world is a wild place. But anyways, shout out all your stuff and we'll wind it down. Where can they find you?
So you can, obviously Instagram and Facebook, Clean Visuals. By my personal one is Ronald Makaramba. I'm sure you won't miss that one.
Makaramba.
And then, Clean Visuals, man, hit me up if you need any videography services, photography services, social media management services, all that, man. Weddings, real estate.
Yeah.
Your boys got you.
Come on.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yes, sir.
For the channel, Joe Teel 180, like, share, subscribe, do all that cool stuff. This should be on Spotify also in audio form. Thank y'all for tapping in. You listened to the whole interview. Thank you. Appreciate you for coming on, man.
Appreciate you for having me, man.
Definitely.
When you hit me up, man, I was like, I was waiting on this dude, man.
Yeah, man.
It's been an honor, man. Really, thanks, man. You're having great people on this show.
I appreciate it.
And I think they're helping, kind of elevate that and putting your name out there, man. And I'm sure, when you hit up people, they'll be like, I want to be.
We need to do some kind of LETV crossover deal.
Yeah, for sure, man.
I graduated from Liberty Eylau.
So I, in my classroom, I kind of got I'm setting up a podcast area. I got 2 chairs already set up. And then I'm looking for trying to get my setup going.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to start, I want to start interviewing different staff members, teachers, and then people in the community. And people that have been going there before. The OGs, there's some old folks that come to football games, and I'm like, everybody's talking to this dude. Why is he so special?
Yeah.
But, there's a lot of them that I
had Zach on here. That was my highest Fowler. Yeah, that was my highest viewed, full-length video.
Wow.
I want to get his dad, because he was my principal.
Yeah,
he's the baseball coach.
Funny.
Rick Fowler.
Funny. He calls me the judge.
The judge.
Because one time we were judging powerlifting, and I was really serious at it, and he just... It's stuck.
No, Rick Fowler is a goat. Shout out to Rick Fowler. Shout out to Zach Fowler. But I gotta get him on there because he was my principal. I was in a lot of trouble in high school.
Wow.
He did right by me though.
Yeah.
He kind of knew the game, because he understood us. He knew that. We were messing up, but at the same time, he even picked me up for school. When I was going through some family stuff that.
Wow.
And he was bringing me to school.
I could see that.
Yeah, he joke around. He plays a lot, but he's
now when he's in game time.
Oh yeah. That's cool. He got to be for both state championships.
That's dope.
That's so cool. Dope. Anyways, I'll talk all night. Appreciate